Hey, you! Yeah, you! Do you like the Bullpup aesthetic? But you always get made fun of for all that barrel drag. Do you also like the power of HPA blasters? But those long barrels make it really hard to go around corners, don't they? Well, I present to you my newest HPA blaster. Oh yeah. This thing is functionally finished. I will at some point sand it and paint it so it looks better, but that's not going to happen for like ages, so that's why I'm making the video now. I do like though that you can kind of see all the different parts that it was like made from. But this is basically a pump action Bullpup HPA blaster with interchangeable barrels that takes both katanas and talons. Huzzah! Though I mainly use katanas. It's got a Specs BZ in it, so thanks to Liam from Australia who's just allowing us to make awesome blasters. And then a Spirit Breach and a very special pusher design. So I'll just give you a good look of it. There we go. I don't know how to do those fancy camera shots with the music overlay. I wanted to make my next HPA blaster, but the whole methodology was they're all really long and I don't like things being bigger than they have to be. I don't want everything to be midget small, I just don't like it when stuff's excessively big when it doesn't have to be. So that's why I basically went for a Bullpup and was saying like, how compact can I make this? Just give you a few more angles. It's very like thin. Well, I guess yeah, that's a retaliator shell, so it's no thicker than that. Got some foam padding on the back. And yeah, so it's overall a pretty small blaster, but it packs a punch on the inside. So next is the internal overview. Okay, so let's have a look at the internals. Well, I'll start with the three main sections of the build. We basically have at the front here, we have a mediator, which I used so that I could use its pump grip to avoid 3D printing anything, because those always sound awful. But as you can see, I cut it and raised it up to here so that the whole blaster could be more sleek. Then moving back, if you can see the blue section here, that's a retaliator shell. I used that so that I could keep the bolt sled here and take advantage of the grooves that are obviously already in the shell. But I had to turn the whole thing backwards because I wanted the bolt sled to go this way for reasons I'll explain later. And so that's that. And then the back grey section here is just I CAD'd that up and 3D printed it so that I could have all the kind of HPA parts and the magwell just really sleek and in line. So yeah, you can see here also that I put the tungsten magwell for both katanas and talons in here just because I wanted the options, and then adjusted it slightly. Like I've put this angle in here and had to cut it slightly so that it would work, but I was really excited that I could put that into the blaster just so I can use any mag that I have. Let's go over the HPA stuff now. So the air just comes in here, and I wanted to make this really small. So yeah, the air comes in, goes into the valve with an elbows out of the valve, comes around a bit of tube, and then elbows right back into the tank. So that whole thing is like as tight as I could make it. And then come on to the breech. So I'm using a Spirit Breach design, which was thought up by a guy in Australia. I'm sorry, I don't know his name. But then Pete from Foam Alliance UK did the same thing with some smaller pieces of brass, so that you basically just glue one piece of brass inside the stem here, and then obviously you have a smaller piece of brass which then here can just slide in and out. So when this is all the way back, it just goes into the Specs BZ, so the whole thing can be a lot more compact, which is perfect because that's what I wanted. And then we get on to a very special part, the pusher design. Now this was first thought up by Dan, again from Foam Alliance UK, and we were discussing this, and you can see that it doesn't have an O-ring. So instead of using an O-ring, he thought, what if you 3D print the pusher from a flexible, like a TPU material, and then that will just flex out when the air comes through and seal against the barrel for you. So that's what this is. I printed a hard material, PLA, for connecting to the bolt sled, and then just this front part here is a flexible material. And we're still kind of like testing it to see how durable it is, but it has been working so far, so it is feasible. Just got to keep using it and see how long it lasts, really. Okay, so done that. Barrel. So again, the whole ethos was like, keep this as small as it can be, but still have HPA power. So I have my short barrel here, which is actually kind of long, but it's in a bullpup, so it seems short. But then I also wanted to be able to like hit 300 for other games with the same blaster. So I designed this block to basically fit into the shell, and then you can just take it out. So I have another barrel here with the same block with 2 colours of filament because I was using what I had. And yeah, it's just like that. So you basically just lift this out, pop this barrel in here, and then you have your long barrel with room to fit a scar on. Put that aside. What else? The trigger. Okay, so the trigger, again, that basically links back to the valve with a metal rod, which I had to bend like 7 times, which was a bit of a pain because I had pliers and no vise to use. But I did that, just epoxied it here, and it fits around the mag well and then goes into the blaster here. There's like a little section I glued in so that this thing can't rotate. It can only move forwards and backwards, and to actuate the valve. And then the bolt sled here connects forwards to the pump grip using this flat metal bar I found, which is perfect because it's thin enough that it can ride just between like the barrel block and the trigger linkage here. And that's just epoxied in there, epoxied in here. And so I was using the vertical grip for the mediator because I kind of like that. But just like have options, I also redesigned a Captain Slug angled grip so that it could run on these rails and everything. So just sort of options, but I'll show you that when the blaster's all together. Okay, so we're about to get into the firing demo. This is just how I hold all of the gear on me. I've got it on a sling here so I can just pull it up easily. Foam Alliance UK, check them out. Overnight I printed a raised Picatinny rail here so that the sight can be higher for when I'm wearing my paintball mask, because you can't get in as tightly. The line just runs to the paintball tank on my back here. I've got 4 katana mags that I could pull out on my back, and then I hold 3 across the front here. Pretty easy to take in and out. So let's go shoot some stuff. Cool thing about using a spirit breech is that you can load a mag whether the breech is open or closed. With a pump action blaster you can get a pretty high rate of fire, and also because it's a pusher design you can even shotgun load, and it's pretty functional, I think. Okay, so I know HPA blasters are powerful, so I just wanted to push this and see how many darts I could shoot at one time. I can fit 9 darts in the barrel, and I think it gets a reasonable distance that, like, this might actually be practical in Nerf 4 at some point. There is no way you're going to dodge that. Okay, so here I'm using my shorter barrel, which I don't have room to fit a scar on, which I think reduces the darts veering off. So I get pretty much really close all the time, and towards the end start hitting it more consistently. I managed to get a dart stuck in the styrofoam, which is quite funny. So here's another way that you can do it up with the angled grip, and I've got the long barrel. I think that combo just looks pretty awesome. There we go. I'm going to shoot this off and see. Hopefully it's more accurate because I have a scar and everything, but we'll find out. Whoa, that's bad though.